Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you in front of you. I also did a quick union read. I'm just going to give you the brief of that. It's not a long read, but it's on 3D, 4D, and 5D, and I'll show that to you in just a second. Take a deep breath, everyone. Okay, so first I'm going to show you the pictures of what I have today. This is the union read. So if you want to take a snapshot, if you want to take a snapshot while I'm reading about it, you can. It's a beautiful read. You see the Two of Cups in the middle there, and it was really a beautiful read. This is the 3D, 4D, and then 5D, and then this is the feminine coming in, the masculine going out. This is the top card here is the underlying energies, and then this is the summary energy over here, the last card, okay? So I also have, this is the main read in front of you, a SIRIAN STARSEED deck. Oh, sorry about that. This is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, and this is the full read in front of you. So I just want to clear that just a little bit for you. Okay, so that's the full read. And let's see here. So we'll just start right in with the union read. Today is the 18th, so tonight is the new moon. On the East Coast, it's at, I thought I wrote that down. Yeah, 10:41 or 10:42, depending on what site you look on. The new moon tonight, so it's really not it's set in until tomorrow. It's in Leo, 20 degrees, 35 minutes, and 35 was coming up a lot yesterday or the day before. And 26 is the Page of Wands, 35 is the Wounded Warrior. And I did this union read at 10:01 this morning. So 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 1 is the Magician. For those of you not familiar with me, this is a 7-deck read for the Divine Masculine. It's a general read with a lot of energy on the table. So if something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. There's a lot of messages, plenty for everybody. And it is also for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames, so it will affect the masculine within the feminine as well. And the union read here, what I have been doing 4, 5, and 6D, because I was guided to do that, but today I decided to do 3, 4, 5D, just to get more of a general shot of what's going on and what you deem as your reality. So the underlying energy was the King of Wands, shaman energy. The central energy was the Two of Cups, like I showed you. The underlying divine feminine coming in was the Seven of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. So 3 to 1, holding flame in right hand, half-hearted proposal laying in wait. Arise above the drama, the fire, and of the home, and being present, the Knight of Pentacles proposes perhaps a purpose, or to porpoise or dolphin, ready to play ball, plum, or catch. So the 3D here, the Divine Feminine was tempered passion. So really tempering, the Divine Feminine has learned to temper their passion. The Divine Masculine seeing himself as a twin flame, and the bridge by the tidal wave in the coffee cup, the green room soon, an offer of love to be twin flames, and the Divine Masculine trying to cool his fire. In the 4D, which was at 10:19, 10 being the Wheel of Fortune, 19 being the Sun, the Divine Feminine with large emotions calm, and the new moon sliding into the Two of Cups love. The Divine Masculine through the ring of fire, chomping at the bit, facing ahead, bridging by the Two Cups coming together in connection, a toast, a blessing, before forging ahead, a white bangle, tiger head. The 5D is the Divine Feminine's stairway to heaven, the new moon climb, the Divine Masculine present to the gift of the moment, one and only flame, one day at a time. The bridge by the Page of Swords, the little light o' mine, and one little message is all it takes in the 5D. The Divine Feminine with the Knight of Wands, 3D slow burn, the 4D new moon with deep emotions, and the 5D 7 steps, and to keep going, 7 made in heaven, and also the 7 of Knights, the 7 of the Knight of Ace of the Blind, and the 7 Arabian Nights were coming up here, of acing, aloneness, the blind, the one, the orphan. So acing aloneness, the acing of the blind, being good at that, and the 7 of that, Arabian Nights again, were coming up. So if anything comes up for you around that, please comment below. So 7 made in heaven, for the Divine Masculine, the 3D twin flame, and seeing himself as such, the 4D ring of fire, which for me is Lionsgate, being strong, and the 5D being present to the 2 plus 1 flame. The bridge here at 1028, which 28 is then the 2 of Wands, the 3D gushing offer of love, the 4D connecting at the new moon in Leo with a sweet or small message in the 5D. The outgoing Divine Masculine here is the world in their right hand, transitioning through portal or dealing with death, end, dark night, and the King of Swords protecting his purity, his words and ideas, protect his groin. A sense, quote unquote, transit, mastering the blind man, the King of Wands shaman, that 70s show, and here's that 7 again, the warrior and the chariot, the war and the gladiator, the comedy and tragedy, to connect and be starseeds, opening the crown, 2 big downloads. This is outgoing for the Divine Masculine. So the Phoenix rising, 3 to 1, rising, 1, 2, 3, jump, the 7 of a sense, the 7th sense, good at transiting, acing, and mastering of the blind, the orphan, the oneness. And so this 7th sense was coming up as the 4th eye, so you might want to look into that a little bit. I got a whole bunch of stuff about the tetragrammaton, so I'm gonna have to work on that to present that to you separately, but I got definitely a cool code on that. So the numbers from the union read were coming up, the horizontal lines were coming up 10, 2, and 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and the 10 again of the Wheel of Fortune. Etheric wheels rolling down the river. 2 on the go, the High Priestess, High Vibe ascending, and on the vertical columns we had 7, 1, 7, 2, 5, which is the 717, and then the 25 is the Knight of Wands, which has been coming up a lot. So that can either be the Chariot and the Star, or the 3 of Wands and the Chariot, and then the Knight of Wands. The union with the Knight of Wands going on vacation with the High Priestess, or in secret, and the Chariot, the bold move rising star to get moving, or co-creating in a bold move to get moving. It's grounding, it's like the 2 lines. The bottom line is grounding the wheels, big wheels keep on turning, and then the vertical column is the etheric wheels rolling down the river. So that was really cool. He and me and thee also were coming up here. And with the tetragrammaton, definitely I am that I am is coming up here. So then I went into the Divine Masculine read in front of you, and I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 11:59, which is literally the 11th hour, right? The minute before midnight, but except it was 12 noon. The last minute. At 12:12, I pulled some extra cards from the Universal Golden Tarot because they were showing me a little bit of a story where the Divine Feminine was co-creating and reaping, performing on the journey to God through announcements that are heart-based. And then the Emperor coming toward the other way was the Emperor in the Tower, sudden events at work, with the Knight of Swords rushing in to present, or rushing into the present moment, or the flame, for the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords to speak together. And then the wheel, the sun, and the Two of Cups came up together, which you see right in front of you behind the love sign. Destined to happiness together. And I literally put those cards behind the love sign. It was 12:21 this afternoon. So I finished clarifying at 12:33. 12 is the Hangman, and 33 is the Christ vibration, and the Seven of Wands. Standing up for yourself, taking the high ground. The major arcana here were Strength and Transition, which is the Death card. Before the read, Reflection came up. After the read, Justice came up, because I always pull a few cards on either end. There were 4 swords, 1 wand, 3 pentacles, and 1 cups. And of course, in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, they're different because it's orbs, flames, crystals, and chalices instead, but same idea. We had the Knight of Swords and 3 nines in the read. 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands, and 9 of Pentacles, which all can be characters. And the King of Swords also came up. So the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords in the read. Before the read, the Page of Pentacles, and after the read, the Queen of Swords. The numbers in my code line were all about forgiveness and personal growth. Besides the triple nines, in a lesser sense, we had triple eights. That's very significant. It's the end of the cycle. And we also had double sevens. We had 45, which is the 5 of Cups, the grieving card. 58, which is the 4 of Swords, the 5D connection and resting or meditating card. 8, 9, 10, begin again. 89 is the reflection of 98, the human temperature, meaning it's too hot or too cold. The 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, and the 57 of the 3 of Swords. Also 41 through 31 came up. 41 is the Ace of Cups, 31 is the 5 of Wands. So new love and expansion. The code line about forgiveness and personal growth was all about the numbers. It was 22 from 8, 10, and 4. So 8 is the dance, and then 10, 4, good buddy, right, is the message received. And then the 22 of the opening of the heart and taking a leap of faith of the Fool. The forgiveness had the F covered, so it was coming up as F or forgiveness. And for me, F isn't like FU. It has to do with phi, PHI, and drawing outside the lines, or in other words, expanding, and a need for centering. So when you go outside the lines or expand, then you need to ground and integrate or recenter yourself. So it was coming up as expand and need to center, or giveness. So when you need to center yourself, giving is a great way to do that. Personal growth coming up here. And it was all around the challenge today of the 10 of Orbs, which was the challenge position in the read. And was there any other numbers? Yeah, triple nines are all about, tons of compassion for yourself and others. The triple eights of the twins. And then connecting with the world. The double eights plus the 8 is the infinity plus the 8 of the dance of the infinity. So it's like a twin, which becomes 2 8s, which becomes the infinity on its side, and then adding another 8. And I'm going to have to put that together. But yeah, that's like connecting with the world in another dance. So first it's the 8 of our own inner masculine and feminine, then with our twin side by side, and then once we're integrated into the sideways 8, the infinity, then we add another 8, which is the world dance. So we have forgiveness and personal growth, and the challenge of the 10 of Orbs or Swords, which is all about ending pain, can be betrayal as well, but it's about the end of the cycle. So the worst is over, right? When we get to the upside down 10 of Swords. The code line was all about the see again. The see with your eyes, the see with your ocean or emotion, the letter C of the Christ unity consciousness. And then we can also say the SI of the yes or the if. It also means SEI was coming up, which means a whale, or the number 6, which is the lovers, but it also is the coalfish. So coal, right, and crystal, right, because diamond is coal. So coalfish came up, which is a type of cod. And then also, so we had the whale and the coalfish. And then an article came up online when I was looking up the headers, which was all about the sunfish they found in Santa Barbara. On the picture was taken February 21st, 19. And it's called a large, it's huge. It's a hoodwinker sunfish, or Molateca. And it was first discovered ever 2 years ago in the southern hemisphere But this washing up on the beach in Santa Barbara was the first time it had ever been seen in the northern hemisphere. So that was unusual. But so this fish was coming up around the sea, and the lovers. The 8 of the dance being the key, the Christ and the suffering and ending of the pain for the I am that I am, the water, the jaguar laying in wait, and then the Old English inn, the home, that is the place that makes me comfortable, my heart. All right, so it's coming up from the, for the Divine Masculine and the Jesus template. So when I looked up online to see what wanted to come up, first was the coalfish, where that article came up, fish never seen before in this hemisphere, stunned the scientists at the California beach, which was Santa Barbara, 2/21/19. It was a large hoodwinker sunfish, or Moloteca, and then the next header was about the black cod, or the coalfish. So I don't know whether that was coming up because it's linked, that fish is linked to the black cod or the coalfish. It may be a much larger version of that family. But black cod coalfish was coming up as really good for you as far as omega-3s and other vitamins from Dr. Axe. And then the Carboniferous period, or the carbon period, was coming up also from ucmpberkeley.edu. And that was, the period was 359.2 to 299 million years ago. The late Paleo, the late Paleozoic era. So the term Carboniferous comes from England, which was rich in deposits of coal, as well as throughout Northern Europe, Asia, Midwest and East North America as well. So when it came to the America, as far as the eras, it was called the Mississippi period, but it was distinguished between the South and the North because the Mississippi area was mostly limestone, whereas there's another Pennsylvania era, because in Pennsylvania, which is funny because I'm in Pennsylvania, was a very good place for the carbon. It was very, it's the late carbon era as opposed to the early carbon era, which was Mississippi. But the carbon being it's funny because carbon is the symbol or element C, and the atomic number is 6. So C and 6 both came up in what we just researched, and then carbon came up as C and 6. And of course, coal is mostly carbon. So in Pennsylvania, the land was more terrestrial or marine, is the way they described it, or in other words, very coal-bearing. So coming back to the code line, CC was coming up, so that's a name, but also carbon copy, and also was referencing carbon and coal, and that C and 6 came up again, and also yes, of the lovers, to say, to be, to see, to know, to find out, to have taste, the dance of Christ after death, when the pain was over for the jaguar in the Old English inn, the home, I am that I am. So then the tetragrammaton came up again. That came up pretty recently, a week or two ago in my reading. So I looked it up again because it was coming up again, I am that I am. And the Phoenician, is the oldest version of these symbols, which is very different than the other symbols when you're dealing in symbology, right? So I wrote them all down to see what I was getting intuitively from it and psychically. And remember that I am is also from Exodus 3:14, which is why it came up last time. It came up in my read, and 3:14 is pi. So the Phoenician version of the tetragrammaton is literally like it's like a backwards E, Y, a backwards E, and then like a backwards F with a little tail on it. And remember with Hebrew too, because it's written the other way, if you flip the EYE F, but it's also supposed to be a Z, but I saw it first as an F. If you flip it the other way or mirror it, it literally writes Feye, F-E-Y-E, or in other words, the F in front of the I. And you can call it a Z if you want, but I was getting F. And again, we were just talking about F, having to do with phi, P-H-I, or expanding outside the lines, the raise or drop of temperature, and then the need to center yourself again, to bring yourself back to 0 point. So F and then I, and so I, of course, references the pineal gland in the third eye. And then we have the reason why pi came up again is not only that Exodus 3:14 came up, but when you look at the Hebrew or the square Hebrew version, there's two versions. There's a Palo Hebrew and a square Hebrew version. And the Palo version looks more like the Phoenician version. And you can look them up in en.m.wikipedia.org. It's right there. But the Hebrew version, it basically copies the Phoenician version, only they use a lowercase y kind of look instead of the uppercase Y, like the Y in the road and the Mercedes symbol. That's the Phoenician version. But the Hebrew one's more of a lowercase y look with the two E's around it that are backward. But the E's both have tails at the bottom too, and then a backwards, and then a Z with a line through it. That's the Hebrew version. And then with the Hebrew letters, it literally looks to me like the pi. It looks like two pies and then a parenthesis, which for me was equaling the Y from the Phoenician. So I was getting pi, Y, pi. And then there's a little comma that's like a little parenthesis. It's like a mini me. So it's two pies with the parenthesis in the middle and then the mini parenthesis at the end. So it was like pi, Y, pi, and then little y or mini me. So not only was I getting phi, or F-E-Y-E, I was also getting pi, Y, pi. And so if you write pi with the circle with the line through it, it's literally two eyes with the Y being the nose or the bridge or the third eye between them. And then the little y is the fourth eye. And I'll show you a diagram of what I came up with. So if you look up phi, F-E-Y-E, you could say it's Fey if you want, but phi, it means daughter, or Fey, F-E-Y. It means fated to die or marked to death or bad luck or timid. So shyness was seen as being of bad luck. Or it can be the foe, the enemy. Spellbound, magical, fairy-like or otherworldly. Second sight. He, she, or it. A clairvoyant or clairaudient. And it also means the liver. So there may be a relationship of the liver to this. So this is the phi. So I looked up Zai too, since Z is in the Hebrew. Z-E-Y-E with accents on the two E's comes up as a Mandarin word, pinyin, to select a profession or choose an occupation. But when I saw Zai, Z-E-Y-E, I also saw Zevin. So I looked up Zevin, which does mean seven, but it also means to sift or sieve or strain or Zeef, which is screening, or again, the sieve. And realize that sieve is spelled S-I-E-V-E. So then we have Eve with the S-I, which is yes, yes, Eve. So the Zevin was coming up as that. And I always describe the seven anyway as the divine feminine within the masculine. So there's a lot of parallels here between the messages I get from my symbology to what is out there already. So I'm going to draw that up so I can present that separately because it's pretty profound. The tetragrammaton that comes down from me, so my symbol for the tetragrammaton comes up as literally pi with the circle with a line through it, Y, like the Mercedes symbol without the circle, and then another pi with a line through it, and then the last one is a phi, so it's a circle with the line past the lines, and then a little Y at the top, all right? There's mini-me. And that's referencing the fourth eye. So expanding the third eye to the fourth eye, but literally, I am that I am. It's two eyes and the bridge of the nose, and then the fourth eye connected to it. It's so cool. I am that I am, me and mini-me. Third eye is the sixth sense, the fourth eye, the seventh sense, the intuition, the sixth sense. So then I went into looking up the fourth eye more about it. So you can check that out if you want to a lot of the information I was reading was from wisdom-magazine.com. There was an article in there. Tileswithstyle.wordpress.com is where it was, but you can just look up the fourth eye and you can see. So yeah, I'm going to have to give you a presentation of that. So, and part of what she was describing in her presentation of the fourth eye, she was seeing visions of my upside down Y. So that was connecting right away. And she also talked about the seventh trumpet is the fourth eye opening. And 7 and 4, you know, I talk about all the time, the 4 to 7 being the sweet spot. And then I talked about the 7 trumpets recently as well. So that was Lisa Raphael, I think. Yeah. So yeah, just check it out. I mean, I gave you those two websites where I got it from, but I think it's Lisa Raphael. So there was a lot of parallels there for me. And I'll get more into that at another time, but I want to go into this read. So we start out with the Strength card here with the mini clarifiers on top, and then the cards below from the bottom up were 7 of Wands reversed, 8 of Swords reversed, Page of Pentacles upright, and Reflection upright, which is like the Hermit. So defenseless to the release with the opportunity for reflection, weak through the Ring of Fire or Lionsgate Ascension. Sudden event or epiphany and walking away from depression, arrogance, or loss of hope, connecting one-to-one, unaffected by those on guard or trying to break up the connection. It's like the two people looking at each other, totally unaffected by anything that's going on around, even if it's war, right? So going within, the 2 of Cups, untouchable by those at war, or Aquarius reversed person. Virgo upright, Leo reversed, Scorpio upright, and Aquarius reversed here. Third party, divine feminine, synchronicities, and seeing options. The door number 2, or 72, which is the 4 of Pentacles. A surprise, ghost, or ghosting, or visitation, a move or end of marriage occurs. Suffering in silence or not sleeping, purging, or headaches. And again, from the fourth eye, awakening, they talk about getting headaches during that period. And then the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. Then the 10 of Swords, pain and betrayal. And ending it as the Empress, fully empowered. The gate of the Goddess, wide open, along with rainbow arc above it bleeding out. So the read, after I didn't do the read yet. So all of the stuff about the fourth eye and the rainbow arc came up in that article. And here there was the 10 of Cups as the rainbow arc over the 10 of Swords in front of you. Here, the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and then the Empress. So the gate of the Goddess, wide open, along with the rainbow arc above her and bleeding out. The 4D bridge rebirthing, the dark night of the soul transit to the other side. Break on through to the other side. And then some numbers came up for me to eliminate to see what would come out. And what came out was 2 zeros together, which would be the infinity symbol. And then the 9473, which has the 4 to 7 in between. And then the 9 and the 3 on either side. And then what's missing there would be the 6 in the middle, which is the Lovers. But 9473 also equals 23, which is the King of Wands, but it's also the 2 of the High Priestess, or Secret, and then the 3 of the Empress. So it equals the infinity symbol, and then the 2 and the 3, the High Priestess and the Empress dancing. The 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords collapsing into one, or in other words, they cancel out each other. And this is the merging of the timelines, right, the polarities into 0 point. So again, this was talking about going from difficulty to bliss and then back to difficulty again in order to get to be the Empress, going back and forth from purging to bliss, purging and bliss, and then coming out the Empress. The at 329 was the Empress and being present to the gift of the moment, the rainbow and the painful death, the 10 Commandments, and the high vibe sound of music. Rising above the drama through the gates of hell, to grandmother's house we go. The curious Page of Pentacles hermit, facing the strong, fierce Empress. Earth and fire, but where's the wind? Air and water have been busy creating the perfect storm. Visit, visitation, move, or end of marriage or big party, the Queen of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with issues co-creating together. The Knight of Pentacles with 1 pentacle needs 2 pentacles from the Queen of Cups reversed, who's hyper-focused on her heart space. The Knight of Pentacles reversed is afraid or stubborn or both, with dark streaming into their workplace, and the Queen of Cups reversed buffered by her moat and rocks. However, the Divine Masculine would call them pebbles. Her ground and his etheric, both yellow, afraid to come down to earth, afraid to be up in the clouds, respectfully. Forgiving and learning, and beneath that was retreat, right, the time to take a break away when needed. The Page of Swords is upright, leaning on the truth, while behind closely examined. The Knight of Cups reversed, jealous or moody, or not in the mood. The King of Pentacles upright, superhero, dancing, but his heart or mind is not in it, avoiding intimacy or avoidance in general. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, not being friendly, or the King of Pentacles is paying attention to the Page of Swords or a message and ignoring the Knight of Cups and Knight of Pentacles, both reversed, and they're mad about it. Watching a young one or a new member or the newbie, or allowing one to step all over their heart, plus some, hiding the dessert, or a plant placed around the King of Pentacles by the Knight of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed to catch someone in the act, or taking dance lessons on his own, or trying to avoid those who throw themselves at him, innocent of wrongdoing. 348. 3 is the Empress, and 48 is the Eight of Cups, the walking away within. So we have self-love, which is 61, which is the taking a risk card. Self-love, taking a risk to love yourself first. And beneath that was leadership and new beginning. They were all orange that were coming up in the underlying energy. So all sacral chakra energy, sexual and creative. So 81, leadership. 81 is the end of karma. 1 is, of course, the magician and new beginnings and the masculine energy. All orange. Humbly sharing or settling out under cover, the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, community, or legacy, or an inheritance, destined to feel trapped and look for a way out. The Queen of Swords reversed walks away to detox or be out of control and misbehave, or the Queen of Swords is misbehaving and the Divine Masculine is going their own way. Studious fellow. She dark and royal, he a little messy or tired of cleaning up after others, leaving a mess behind. I was just getting leaving a mass behind. Somebody might be leaving a mass behind. Maybe they have a following. The Libra upright, Capricorn reversed, or earthy Queen of Swords reversed. Capricorn reversed or Devil reversed versus Tiger or Leo reversed, both fiery. One horny, one whiskery, jumping through hoops and with stripes. And the Empress Judge, or at the competition or auction, or displaying her one ball, orange or melon ball, or sherbet in nuts. Not getting along at work, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, needing self-love. Recently is the 9 of Swords upright, suffering in silence. The Wounded Warrior, Knight of Wands reversed, player, falling short or holding back movement or desires. Justice, Divorce, Libra, and the Hermit or Virgo, getting a checkup or advice, while the King of Wands reversed with his back turned, with the Page of Swords talking a lot, or he's checking his messages, the King of Wands. So I did a clearing video today, and boy, did I have some visuals with that. There's a lot of bowel stuff going on, like clearing of bowels, I was also getting like bowels like going through holes, and it's like never ending, and it was a little bit torturous. So it might be a lot of wounding, and there could be some sexual wounding there as well. But at 503, which is the Hierophant and then the Empress, suffering in silence in the fight of your life, the wounded warrior fell off the wagon or knocked off their horse. Judge and inspector, king and jester, court and briefing or deposition. Libra and Virgo with lots of fire around them. Wounded warrior, Knight of Wands reversed, and the King of Wands reversed with the Page of Swords upright. Or there's two sides here, sending Capricorn reversed and Leo reversed back to their corners. The Page of Swords stepping up to the plate or witness on the stand in heated exchange or debate. Bird falls or is depressed and takes flight, but doesn't get away or is deemed a flight risk. No peaceful place to go when released after separation, heartbreak, or medical procedure or transplant at 511, which is the Hierophant and Justice. The foundation here is the Five of Pentacles upright, being out in the cold, the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth while dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities and confessing, while the Queen of Swords upright faces no sleep or rising above, or wide awake and now coming out at 512, which is the Hierophant and the Hanged Man. At 13, which is death or transition or end, near death. I love how the numbers come up right when I write the same topic. So it's the 13 of death, and then I wrote near death, which had nothing to do with the number. Near death, post-death, clinging or never-ending story of the journey through the Queen of Wands reversed, without rest and no peace of mind. Dark night or the Death card reversed, mirroring the Knight of Swords upright, success and attention, mirroring dumping all responsibilities, the Queen of Wands reversed, mirroring the Queen of Swords upright. Suffering in silence, mirroring the awakening process. Near death, messenger of truth, and then good news, leading the way, clearing their schedule completely. Confessions and letting go. The Queen of Wands is suffering in silence or not sleeping and just over it. The Queen of Swords upright talking about it all, the awakening. Dead tired, feeling alive, success, failure, unable or sick, or unable to sleep, or unable to speak the truth, and the Queen of Swords upright is in the awakening process, well rested. So these a lot of polarity things are coming up here because we need to collapse the polarities into the center. So two have been through the ringer. The central energy is the Knight of Swords sending 5D messages, the King of Cups offering love to them, the Knight of Swords and or Page of Swords too, an offer of time, money, and effort, a new life of contentment to the King of Swords reversed, who is seeing synchronicities of one of no affection, an ex or not lovers, the Queen of Pentacles upright, sharing with others or settling out. The challenge being the Ten of Swords, ending pain or in a painful ending or betrayal, or getting a massage or some kind of back treatment, the wounded warrior, deception, or has to get up before dawn, or the new moon is tomorrow to present the truth or receive the truth to or from the twin flame or one who chose their path. The wounded warrior with clarity of third energy choosing path with left hand to offer new life or money to release a prisoner or release someone from their own anxiety. The world complete or divine feminine offering the whole truth, and the wounded warrior twin flame reaping rewards defenseless to the energies and attacks coming in, or the negative past and deception, or the new day dawning, and kids struggling. Cancer reversed, Pisces upright, Gemini reversed here, or it could be divine feminine or masculine, and lots of air energy here in the middle. Perhaps a Scorpio Libra, or Libra Virgo Sag, or Aquarius reversed, Virgo or King of Wands reversed, and the wounded warrior surprised or shocked that patient angel or Sag broke down when the Queen of Wands reversed wasn't looking, or is shocked about patient in a state of emergency or car accident or breakdown up or through, or Sagittarius is over a breakup with the Queen of Wands reversed, presenting the whole truth to the hermit in front of the world, the whole truth to the hermit, and the hermit shedding light on the wounded warrior's path, that the truth was already presented to them by the Divine Feminine, Pisces, or world at large. Or two truths come at the Hermit, and which one to believe. The Magician found the key DNA strand, or presenting it and now taking questions. The King of Wands reversed and the King of Cups upright, dissatisfied with the Page of Swords or a message or the answer that was received. Perhaps the excuse was not good enough. Perhaps the Sagittarius reversed and Cancer reversed are kids in trouble, and now they're telling the truth. Or is it really the truth? To the Hermit upright, the Magician upright, and the King of Wands reversed. And of course, these can always be 1, 2, or 3 people. It doesn't have to be 3. Or Virgo, and Gemini, and the King of Cups then is disappointed in the Page of Swords, which can be a child or a message. So now in the crowning position is the wounded warrior, broke down in pain, an accident, or perhaps got sick, or broke up, or broke through. And the Knight of Cups upright is excited, free to offer love after detox at 550, which is the 5 of the Hierophant and the 50 of the 10 of Cups, complete emotional fulfillment. So the 10 of Pentacles family, business, or community may have left 2 out in the cold. Or maybe part of the family were left out in the cold. Taurus reversed, Cancer reversed, and Aries upright, perhaps Capricorn reversed. The wounded warrior is surprised about a patient, or they now are a patient in the hospital, rehab, or MASH unit, or with a nurse or aide, cracking the whip, keeping kids out or away from the truth or what they're watching on TV. Divorce, breaking contract, or away from the norm, or Taurus reversed in separation, heartbreak, or heart issue, or hospitalization, with the Emperor juggling, performing a message, looking at every angle, trying to figure things out. Or a student, child, and the King of Pentacles, or doctors rounding with their interns, residents, and fellows, lacking faith in the truth presented at family gathering or morning rounds. An announcement by ego or bright idea or awakening. No more casual flirtations, undressing, watching people undressing, or helping someone undress. The battle of the sexes, or no more donating of sperm samples here. Detoxing all bad habits, bad memories of childhood, parents, or difficult siblings or children, and fantasies. Anything that brings no peace. Capricorn reversed and Taurus reversed at opposite ends of the spectrum here. Soon the 4 of Swords reversed, but the Taurus and Capricorn at opposite ends of the spectrum, both reversed, and then Aquarius, Aries can be in between there. The 4 of Swords reversed, awake to, or not sleeping over, frustrated creative blocks, or third energy and new life or financial offer to release from prison, from their anxieties, fears, destined to a higher love, patient angel attracting those waking up from the dead, letting go of scrooginess and clinginess, holding on to what doesn't serve, and getting schooled in Akashic records. That an offer was actually a ticket to ride, a get-out-of-jail-free card to get out of hell. Capricorn reversed, Libra upright, and Sag upright here. Scorpio reversed. Masculine sees himself as the 9 of Pentacles upright, the sovereign, or in their sovereignty, or sovereign in his energy field. Unhappy alone with third party present or social distancing. Sovereign and Page of Cups happy together or waving to their adoring fans. Or this is 2 kids in heated debate or holding back true feelings or truth about pushing someone. The 2 kids aren't fighting with each other. They may be fighting with someone else, and they may have pushed someone else, even another kid, causing them to fall, or threw things at them and pleased with themselves, or not telling how they fell for or bumped into the Empress or wise old owl, or kids trying to push the Divine Masculine to make a fool of himself in front of the Empress upright. Delayed communications or travel, or blocked back and forth energy, not telling, causing dissatisfaction, perhaps arrogance coming out here at 619, which is the Lovers and the Sun. Lacking faith, falling on face or from grace, over a negative group, gossips, drunks, social distancing, or third party, and with the Empress present, so being embarrassed in front of the Empress. At 621, 21 being the world, codependency comes up here for the masculine, as well as getting to know each other, and finances and career are affecting your love life. Around the masculine, or how he is seen, is the Eight of Pentacles working to align, or with crystals, moody, jealous Knight of Cups reversed on their case, or obviously waiting for them to finish their work and obviously annoying them and making it harder to finish their work. The Magician, High Priestess, which can be a secret of theirs, needing strength, courage, or a magician waving their magic wand or crystal to get the High Priestess secret or Pisces over their jealousy and ego at work. Virgo or Gemini, Pisces upright and Leo reversed, or Pisces secret or High Priestess makes him weak and jealous at work. Or healing, two religious people or a power couple drawing jealousy and weak or egotistical people to their work. And the block here is transition reversed, really slow going or dead to the world. Ending a battle with kids or Leo, or exposing all. In need of sunshine after the game is over, said and done. Running for the goal line. Figuring if things take long enough, people will go away and leave you alone. Personal growth, forgiveness, but even more so for the masculine here is music. Two of Swords reversed, clearly not interested, no longer trying. The Page of Wands inspired to romance now. Maybe they will finally break down their defenses. The King of Swords reversed, fantasy, inspired to emotional fulfillment and happy family, happy endings. And the King of Wands reversed is next to the King of Cups upright, who's dissatisfied about the Page of Swords, who's dissatisfied about the King of Swords reversed with a message to spread. Without a peaceful place to be, getting over loss or regret, the past, and grounding, integrating a message of love in divorce, justice, or a Libra, taking a risk to pass downloads or a ride in a balloon, or be the wizard. The Queen of Swords upright, walking away and within to let go and repair or mend. The King of Swords with justice in or fantasizing about passing downloads with the Queen of Swords and then walking away and within to let go and fix and make amends. Needing strength to be out in the cold or homeless, sovereign working to align, suffering in silence or not sleeping, sending or receiving 5D messages and challenged by the pain or painful end, back pain or associated treatments, starting over with lengthy transition or exit plan, the Wounded Warrior, King of Swords reversed, justice, passing downloads or taking a risk with the Queen of Swords and walking away or taking a walk on, taking a walk on the wild side or taking a walk on the beach and letting go. Needing the courage or feeling weak, suffering in silence, purging, crying, up nights, perhaps headaches or detoxing, out in the cold or homeless, the Knight of Swords sending messages to the Wounded Warrior and challenged by betrayal, sovereign starting over in love, no longer an island unto themselves, working to align and get their ducks in a row, dead tired, or after dealing with a death, the King of Swords reversed with justice or Libra, taking risk with the Queen of Swords to take a walk, go within, let go, and make amends. And there's your read. So it was very different today. And I'm going to pull an energy card for you too. Let's see what time it is. 28, 28 now. So 48 is the walking away within, that Eight of Cups card we were just talking about. And then the 26, 27, 28 is the Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and then the Two of Wands. So both the Two of Wands and the Page were significant in this read. The Ace of Wands was reversed, symbolizing the third energy and the frustration around it. So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all is concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is our closing energy? What is our takeaway from this read? Well, that was a whole bunch of cards just jammed, and it was the man with a heart showing. All right, let's see. We got these two coming up here. All right, the journey. So we have walking, again, the rainbow bridge. We're talking all about that. The rainbow arc of the fourth eye, but also the rainbow bridge of the number 2 of the high priestess. And journey. And then we also have 47, which is the 7 of cups, the synchronicities, the options, the heaven in their eyes, and someone learning a new skill perhaps an intellectual pursuit, the thinking woman. And this is very feminine energy today for the masculine. All right. Perhaps researching where to go on vacation or where to go on their journey. It's very much using their intuition or connecting with the high priestess. All right, seeing synchronicities, having lots of options. And then the bottom of the deck here, the next 2 cards are both together winged. 48, again, is that 8 of cups, and 39 is the Knight of cups. Knight of cups came up a lot, too. So 8 of cups and Knight of cups. And you see they're both winged. The masculine's being activated in his throat chakra. And the 4th chakra, they were talking about the chakra being behind the throat chakra initially. It was interesting because it's in your aura. And it's related directly to the pineal gland. But I didn't see specifically where they placed the 4th eye in the aura, but it's outside the body, obviously. So we have the throat chakra being activated over here is the angel of balance. So Gabriel of the throat chakra, and then the feminine energy of keeping things balanced. And this is more, Atlantis, because we have the pyramids here. And oh, look, he's got the 7th trumpet in his hand. Very cool. And here's the genie in the bottle that came up. So she's got the genie in the bottle, and he's got the 7th trumpet in his hand. So that's like, and 7th trumpet was saying in that article that it was the 4th eye opening. So very cool. The Knight of Cups. And the walking away and within is to keep everything balanced while going through that. So there could be some headaches that come up for some of you. So door to romance is after that, the 33 of the Christ vibration, and the key to the heart in the bird cage. And opening the yellow doors, that came up a lot regarding not having the courage to go, for the feminine to ground and become more in her power in business, and the masculine afraid to be more in the etheric realms, more into his feminine power in the etheric realms. And then we have, here's the Empress coming up as the angel of strength. Okay, he may be grounding it all, right, with the Lion's Gate here, taking charge of the situation. And this can then represent 2 children as well. So we have these 2 coming up with this. This could be a mother and 2 children. Okay, there's a door to romance here. And then this could also be like a child pushing the masculine toward the feminine, okay, because that came up in the read as well. So again, we have the 50 of the 10 of cups there, which is the emotional fulfillment. And then we have 38 now on the bottom of the deck, which is the Queen of Cups and the heart chakra. So, mainly had to do with these, these first 2 cards, because after that, we have a whole bunch of winged people. Okay? So very much about the 40 bridge and the rainbow arc and the 4th eye opening. I love that these came up here with the genie in the bottle type energy and the trumpet, the 7th trumpet. So check that out. Okay, was there anything else? I hope that was helpful to you guys. Make sure you drink your water. I still have to drink some more water. Make sure you get your rest, so important. And with opening the 3rd eye too, it might be important at this time period to focus more on diet and trying to perfect more what you haven't been able to do so far. And just be good to yourself, Don't punish yourself for not being able to do things. Accept yourself fully. And this is the whole point of the polarities, taking responsibility for both ends of the polarities and then being able to collapse them into the center or into one. or into nothingness, into the 0 point. And by doing that, you have to be willing to accept your shadow side and just love it. Love all the things that come up and be okay with it, in order for it to collapse into the other, and then stay more in the middle zone of being more neutral to things and more loving to everything. And unconditional love does not mean allowing other people to step all over you. It's about loving yourself first, but being unconditionally loving in loving yourself first. So even if you have to stand strong, as long as you're speaking your truth and doing it from a loving heart, and somebody else's feelings gets hurt, that's not your responsibility. Okay? So make sure you're good to yourself, and rise and be loved. Bye.